between those two, Hill and Collard, still absolutely together. White Cooper Leons, two of the 6 cars that Team Hard are running the Cooper Leons this year, but the race leaders are making their way out of the final corner to complete the first lap of 12 here for the first race of the weekend. And Ash Sutcliffe's gone, he's off. He's all on his own as he crosses the line in the 116 car. Second place for Turkington, third for Hill, fourth for Collard, fifth for Morgan, sixth place for Tom Ingram, having started on the front row of the grid. Car on the hard compound tyre with Cook and Butchie behind him also on the hard compound tyre. That was a big slidey moment though for Dan Rowbottom coming out of Rich's corner. He got 2 wheels on the grass and almost lost the car. He just about controls it. It's not as grippy, that hard tyre, but it will last the race, so you've got to be a little bit careful with it to start with. As Adam Morgan is now coming under more and more pressure from Tom Ingram as they come side by side out of the left-hander at Palmer, and Tom Ingram trying to line up a move on the run down towards Agostini, which he will do. Down the inside he goes and through ahead of Adam Morgan to gain one of those places back. So 2nd to 6th on the first lap, but Ingram, the reigning champion of the number 1 Hyundai, gets himself back up into 5th place.
I've spoken to Ingram's dad, Bruce, who can't bear to watch Tom's races. He paces up and down at the back of the garages, but he just said Tom was not well today, and that would explain why he didn't open the car door and invite me in. He was being kind and didn't want to spread his jokes, but he's not feeling well.
Too well. Okay, right, thanks for the update. Great start for Dan Cummings. He gained 8 places on the first lap of the race, up to 17th, which is ironically where he would have qualified if he'd been able to keep that 1 lap in stock. He qualified 17th. Start third lap. Are more nose to tail now because Ricky Collard's fallen away from Jake Hill. Jake has been able to shrug off the attentions of the Toyota driver, and the Corolla now falling into the clutches of Tom Ingram, whose adrenaline is obviously going to see him through this race because he's absolutely flying at the moment. And the number 1 car swings left, looks to the right. He's going to dive at the inside of the way into Richie. Another place back. That's up to 4th place now. Terrific move from Tom Ingram. He pulled up a couple of absolute belters on the way to Paddock Hill Bend 2 weeks ago at Brands Hatch. He is a brave driver, Tom Ingram, and that you don't see many moves at Rich's corner, but that was another really good one. So the champion goes through and gets another one back. That's up to 4th position. We'll see what his pace is like now because he's got a clear track in front of him. Quite a big gap to try and close to get on terms with the 3rd place BMW of Hill, kind of 1.3, 1.4 seconds behind him. And behind there were no changes inside the top 8, but we did get Stephen Jelly's BMW on the soft tyre going ahead of Rory Butcher's hard-tyred shod Toyota Corolla, so number 12 up to 9th.
I've also had information that maybe Dan Rowbottom isn't feeling 100% today as well.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, this is...
a bit of it going around.
Well,
summer colds.
I think everybody's had a bit of a cold or a cough or something like that over the past few weeks. It's just happened at the wrong time for the two of them.
Could probably be all right when they're in the car because the adrenaline, but in between sessions, the adrenaline goes.
I got in trouble by the medics a few years ago for saying it would do them good.
Was 2.7, 2.8 seconds clear at the end of the previous lap. Goes through, he does a 156.063. He got the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap. You get a bonus point for the fastest lap, a bonus point for leading a lap, 20 points for leading the race. Available to him still. 4 laps for Turkington in second, 5 laps available for Hill, and only 2 laps for Tom Ingram, who's that new 4th place car. 8 laps though for Collard and Morgan, so they might come into it as the race goes on. Dan Camish update. He's into the points up to 13th place. He's got another place on that lap. So Dan Camish, despite being on the harder tyre, despite having only one lap of hybrid available to him, which he's still got, number 27 into the points now. Where you finish this race is where you start the grid for the next one. Tom Chilton, who had a problem with the car off the line, he's right at the back of the field now, but the car still isn't flying. He's still struggling for pace, doing 158s instead of 156s. Now, side by side are Bobby Thompson and Ronan Pearson as they come out of Agostini, and they are just outside the points at the moment. Well, Bobby Thompson's just inside the points in 15th. Ronan Pearson's trying to be in the points in 16th place. If you buy a big screen, you're looking at the rear-facing onboard camera from ITV from Bobby Thompson's car, looking at one of the three rookies in the championship, Ronan Pearson, who was fourth in the JCW category of the Mini Challenge. As the race leader, his teammate Ash Sutton comes over the line, controlling things. Another good lap, that 156.1. Best lap's a 155.8 he was, but it's now Tom Ingram that sets the fastest lap of the race with a 155.090. Tom Ingram. Another one of that previous lap gets the fastest lap. That's worth doing for the bonus championship point. We've got two Vauxhalls going absolutely side by side together on the way into Ridge's corner as well, as they fight for position. That was Watson and Doble, 18th and 19th. So those two scrapping away just outside the top 15. Everybody's still running in this race, but Tom Chilton a long way off the pack, unfortunately. 2.7 seconds the gap from first to second, so it came down a bit on that lap. Personal best for everybody in the top 5, except for the race leader. So the gap came down by about 0.3 of a second. It's still a pretty healthy 2.7 seconds. Sutton leads, Turkington second, Hill third, Ingram fourth, but on the comeback trail here. Although he was a little bit slower than Hill through that first sector. The first sector takes you from the start line all the way through to the entry to Agostini, and then you've got sector 2, which takes you through the infield down towards the end of the Bentley Straight. Sector 3 is a very quick end to the lap through Brundle, Nelson, and then the bomb hole, Coram and Murray. So there's a warning for it. Either Gary or Software or medium tyre. So Ricky Card's bad luck this season continues. You can see from the onboard camera, he just looks up to the heavens, catches his breath, and thinks, I can't believe this. They're side by side of the and Jake Hill, and then goes through the Wilson hairpin. Jake Hill trying to find a way through, but Colin, he's got a pair of rails as always, not leaving the door open, but Jake looking very racy here. It's a very pointy sort of start to the season he's had this year, Jake Hill. And he's right underneath his teammate now, the 4-time champion, under serious pressure from Jake Hill, who, no doubt about it, is going to be a championship contender once again this season in the MB Motorsport Laser Tools BMW, the number 24 car. Brilliant white and blue livery on the car, shining in the sun all over the back of the 4-time champion. And then catching the both is the reigning champion in the number 1 Hyundai, Tom Ingram. So a real battle developing here for second place, trying to hug the inside line. All the way to the next right-hander is Colin Turkington. He just about fends off Jake Hill there, through Oggies, through the three of them together now, head through Williams and onto the Bentley Straight. So second, third and fourth all together. They're all on the same tyre, soft tyre. 4 laps, 5 laps and 4 laps of hybrid, 4 laps and 1 lap of hybrid available to them respectively. So the one that's got the least sheet of hybrid is the train. Nelson and head towards the bomb hole. Number 4 car. The main any mistakes, that's for sure. Corner second, third and fourth. On his only fifth place down at Morgan. Stephen Jelly in sixth, another BMW going well. And the gap between those two is 1.7 seconds. Quite well to be able to catch Adam Morgan between now and the end of the race. Dan Camish update, he's up to 11th place now, Dan. So going really well.
The hard tyre.
Yeah, I know, brilliant stuff, isn't it, this? And he still hasn't used hybrid because he's only got one lap available to him. I suspect he's going to leave that until he really, really needs it at the end of the race. But from last but two on the grid, all the way up to 11th place now in the yellow and blue Ford number 27 car, Dan Camish, the championship leader, salvaging something out of this, getting a replay of potentially one of his moves here. Yeah, up the inside of his teammate, that was on the way into the Wilson hairpin to get ahead of Sam Osborne. So his next target is going to be Rory Butcher, who's on the hard tyre. In fact, the next three cars ahead of him are all on the same tyre as Dan, all on that hard tyre. So he could still pick up some more positions here between now and the ends of the race.
But he is one of two cars just receiving track limits warnings.
He is, yeah. He and Dan Lloyd have just got track limits warnings, get two warnings. After that, you start getting penalties, time penalties. So people make people aware of that. By Dan Robots, it's a nightmare at that wet qualifying. Was coming down between them. It's now gone up again because personal best lap that was front of Morgan. So that's probably as high up the order as he's going to get, but theoretically quick tyres to use later in the day. The Adam Watson Mikey Dover battle still pretty close, not as close as it was 2 laps ago, but they are the two boxers running in 18th and 19th. And Ricky Carr out of the car after the car stopped a few laps ago, now talking to the marshals, helmet on. Another disappointing race, and of course that affects his grid for race 2. He's going to be at the back of the grid for race 2, right at the back, because Tom Chilton now becomes 26th in the race. So we've got 3 laps apiece each for the top 3 in terms of hybrid remaining. Only 1 lap for Tom Ingram, 5 laps for Adam Morgan, 4 laps for Stephen Jelly, and 5 laps for Dan Robotham as well. As your top 7 as they make their way down the Bentley Straight, the race leaders. Ash Sutton 2.5 seconds clear, controlling the pace. Got a bit of breathing space in the second. That's coming now. And so Osborne has gone through as well, so it's top 10 now. Having a go under the bridge, the left hand those cars there are about to come over the start finish line.